How's it going? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the hangar. I'm Blake and this is Fly, Weld, Fabricate. So today I'm starting a new project and it's actually one that I'm pretty pumped about. Teaming up with my buddy Mark over at TWINSTICKS again. We're doing a custom exhaust for a 79 Kenworth cab over project, Project Iron Duke. I already kind of got started. I just wanted to do some test pieces. This is 5-inch stainless steel. And the whole exhaust, we're going to try to make the whole exhaust out of stainless steel, but the stacks are proven difficult to source. So we're going to make do with what we can get, and I'm going to start cleaning up the rest of these pie cuts for all of the exhaust. The more you clean before you weld, the less you have to clean later. I just have a variable speed die grinder that I picked up from a pawn shop for like $100. This is just a Scotch-Brite wheel. I'm going to start by cleaning all this up and putting a nice little grain in. Kind of hard to tell the difference before and after because it's actually starting out pretty decent. But trust me, what this camera doesn't show, the eye does. So, did a little bit more cleaning with the camera off. I have a couple 5-foot chunks. This one I just cleaned up, and here's uncleaned to cleaned. Looks much nicer, much smoother. Just going to be better to work with, and it's going to make a nicer finish after it's all done. So because this pipe is so much bigger, it's easier to bring the tools to the pipe than vice versa. How I set it up was, I just have some of my squeeze clamps, put some Scotch-Brite down, then the pipe sits on the Scotch-Brite, sits pretty stable, and I can rotate it and nothing will scratch underneath. Now I start with this. This is just a maroon Scotch-Brite on an inflatable drum on a variable speed grinder. So I'm going to start with this, do the whole thing. And then I go over it with this. This is just my variable speed electric die grinder with a 2-in-1 combo wheel. And then I finish it up with this. It's just like another red Scotch-Brite wheel, more of a flappy pad one on my drill. These 3 steps, and yeah, this pipe's looking great. So I'm going to finish cleaning up this pipe. I'm going to finish cleaning up the elbows, tack the elbows, and then I got to wait until I actually can get over to Mark's and start fitting this on the truck. Okay, that's it. Nice and cleaned up. Looks pretty killer. So I just have to move back onto those elbows and get them all tacked together. All right, so all of these elbows, or these pie cuts, are cleaned up, ready to tack together, but there's just one thing. When you do these guys, you want to keep, depending on what angle you want it to be, if you want a 90-degree elbow, if you want 45, you can make straight pipe with it. You can orientate these guys however you see fit. So just by rolling one pie cut to the next, you can completely change how they are. So a little bit makes a difference, especially when you want a nice, perfect 90-degree elbow. So what I'm doing is I made a simple little jig here. And I mean very simple. Piece of scrap aluminum, clocked a line, drew a line straight down, drew a line straight out. So now, what I do is I just try to keep it touching the center part here. And then I just roll it back and forth, and I have just a couple of orientation lines at the top. I'm using them for reference. I roll it back and forth, looking for my reference line. And you can watch when the line disappears, you're climbing up. When the line becomes more visible, you're going down. Find close to as I can on center. Mark it on the inside. Transfer my lines once more. There. And there. Do this one really quick. So now I set up my lines. See if that's focusing. So now I set up my lines like that, and I can get this whole elbow going as true as possible. So I'm going to finish clocking these pie cuts, get some tacks going on these, get all of them tacked, weld out these elbows, and then basically I'm at a standstill until we're ready to install everything on the truck. But I'd like to be ahead of the game rather than behind. So I'm going to finish clocking these and then set up time lapse for some tack and then do some welding. Okay, so all the elbows are tacked together, and now I have to make a Y branch. So it's going to be 5 in and 5 out each side. So you need to split it right down the middle. How do you lay it out all the way around, nice and even? Now I know how to lay out a Y branch from a flat pattern and get it all done that way, but that's not going to work for the material I have. So, got this little piece of scrap aluminum. I prop it up, just touching the line. Okay. Now, this piece of aluminum is 2.5 inches. A 5-inch pipe. Go halfway. Got this one marked out. I'm going to cut out these sections here. All right, well, zip cut, cleaned up, fitting pretty good. Matches up pretty nice. It's not 100% perfect for me, but it's, if I take it anymore, then it's not going to fit. And the fit is the most important part. Tack these two together. All right, well, it's a couple days later. I'm back with some argon. I did a little bit of welding without you guys watching. And you know what? It turned out pretty good. This fill rod that I'm using is a little thick for the heat that I need to be able to weld it with. So I found some other welding rod, and it's coming together a lot nicer. Put a couple little beads on here. It's getting a little flatter, still getting the nice colors. I'm going to end the video here, and just wanted to say thank you for everybody who made it this far. Do have a lot more to do on this, so I'm going to actually break it up into a few parts just because I still have more fittings to build, and they're actually going to be built right from scratch. We're going to get this type of elbow out of mirror finished stainless, but it's a different diameter that they don't make. So I'm going to make it from scratch. So I want to stay tuned for that. And then we have the install on the truck, and we have to hear how it sounds. I think it's going to sound great. I think it looks great. And if you do too, drop a comment, let me know what you think. And if you want to do me a solid and click the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff, really appreciate it. Till next time, have a good one. Appreciate it.